But what is the point in signing up for drug testing if when you fail, everyone just goes, "Oh, don't worry about it, just let him fight," you know?
Yeah.
So, the argument of, well, it's all right with UKAD is totally irrelevant. You've signed drug testing with VADA, the best testing agency, in my opinion, in the sport. What I've got a problem with is VADA testing not being in the contract. I can't let my fighter go in with a fighter off the back of John Pascal's failed test without VADA testing in the contract. Not. The truth is that we'll probably never know. You have to make your own decisions and judgments, which is sometimes dangerous. Was he cheating? Was he unlucky? Either way, his reputation is tarnished forever. Because it doesn't matter. You fail a drugs test, you fail a drugs test. You look at his physique on the scales for the last couple of...
Hi, this is Isaac Chamberlain and you're watching True School Sports.
It's personal between me and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I wanted to get my thoughts on some more of this aftermath of Conor Benn failing the drug test. You know, he's putting female fertility drugs in his system to try to raise his level of testosterone. And now you got Eddie Hearn, who, it's funny, Eddie Hearn's a funny character, man. Eddie Hearn's a guy that, you know, I have no doubt in my mind he loves boxing. He loves boxing, he eats boxing, and boxing's in his blood. There's no refuting that. But, you know, this guy makes no sense. Zero at all. I mean, complete double standards. First and foremost, this is the same guy that just like a week or so ago was complaining and bitching and moaning about the fact that John Pascal supposedly didn't agree to VADA drug testing, and he said when it came to Joshua Buatsi that VADA drug testing was the end-all be-all. We never heard nothing about no UKAD or any testing like that. This is also the same Eddie Hearn who in the past, as you guys saw in the beginning of this video, has stated that VADA drug testing is the gold standard for drug testing in boxing. And he said that, you know, UKAD and VADA are different. VADA is what you need to be on if you're a fighter at the world-class level. So now that, you know, you have this big fight, mega fight, huge event in the UK, the kind of fight that's going to transcend and bring a lot of casual eyeballs to the sport, you know, because this is the Benn-Eubank new generation fight. Now his energy's changed, and now all of a sudden he's trying to file injunctions, and he's considering maybe even trying to get the fight sanctioned with other commissions, and he's saying that the British Boxing Board of Control, he wants them to be comfortable and all this bullshit. Listen, man, I understand Eddie Hearn's a promoter. I understand, like, he loves a good pound note, and listen, who doesn't? We all gotta live and survive and pay bills and things like that, and function, and we all want to live a fun life while we're here on earth, right? So you need money to function, you need a pound note to function in this world. I get all that, but I really feel like this Conor Benn fight, it's like not to be a virtue signaler or anything like that. However, like there is a lot of PEDs and and guys on PEDs in boxing, and I know for 1,000% fact that boxing likes to choose when to and when not to report certain guys being on PEDs. That's just a fact. It's a matter of fact. It's not a matter of opinion. It's a matter of fact. But like Conor Benn, I really feel like this is setting a bad precedent for younger fighters. This is no different than Canelo Alvarez with the computer wall years ago. I feel like if boxing wants to get to a place where you really make fighters think twice about taking PEDs or putting female fertility drugs in their system, you have to give them real, staunch, harsh penalties, you know, not no 6 month slap on the wrist. I mean, I'm talking like 18-month bans, 24-month bans, you know, substantial bans, because Conor Benn, let's just be real. Let's keep it all the way at speed with Conor Benn. I've enjoyed his development as a fighter, and I'm sure he's put in a lot of hard work and getting up and crushing it in the gym, as you would say. But for those of us who have followed his career long enough, we know that Conor Benn got the brakes beaten off of him, got his shit pushed back when he fought Cedric Penoid. We know that happened. Got a get decision in that fight.
Do I have a Ricardo Washington?
You know, we know that this is a guy that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just started knocking dudes out. Vargas and Van Heerden. I mean, think about all the guys he fought, like Van Heerden and Algieri and my boy Adrian Granados, who was boxing the fuck out of him. And I'm sorry to curse, but he was boxing him pretty easily in pockets of that fight. I thought he lost, but he had his fair share of success. He frustrated Benn despite not having a style of being a back foot boxer. So think about a guy like him, who, you know, if it was on an even playing field, maybe he would have. You never know. You just, you know, it wouldn't mean that these guys would have beat Conor Benn, but you just don't want to see a guy juiced to the gills, because at the end of the day, it's wrong. Like, it's wrong. So I understand Eddie Hearn's a promoter, but even for him, he has sunk into new lows to try to make a quick buck. All this virtue signaling he did years ago when Jarrell Miller tested positive for a gajillion banned substances, and basically he went on IFL TV and he cried and he was like, "Oh, he tried to hurt my friend. He tried to hurt my friend." That's all code for that was all code for he tried to hurt my pockets. Because truth be told, Eddie Hearn doesn't give a fuck about none of these fighters, and he can say what he wants. All right, he can say what he wants about these fighters, but his actions are proving otherwise. We've seen how he reacted when Jarrell Miller failed drug tests. We've seen how he's reacted with the Jean-Pascal Joshua Buatsi situation, which really was a non-situation. He should have just made the damn fight, but he didn't want to do that because he wanted to try to make the in-house fight and keep the money in-house, which I understand. But you screwed Pascal and you ducked Pascal, and I stand by that. So with that being said, and with that being established here on True School Sports, like, it's disgraceful. It's piss poor behavior. And if Eddie Hearn has any conscience, any dignity, you scrap this fight. You scrap this fight. You admit that this is the wrong thing to do. This is not a good message to send to young boxers, particularly young British boxers, because I would assume that Conor Benn in the UK, being who he is, has the eyeballs of a lot of young, impressionable British boxers. So think about the kids, man. Think about the amateurs that may like Conor Benn and that are now hearing this news of him putting female fertility drugs in his system to raise his testosterone to get a competitive advantage in a fight, mind you, where he's going to be fighting a weight-drained 60% Chris Eubank Jr. That's right. He's taking PEDs to prepare for a 60% Chris Eubank. And it's nothing short of disgraceful. And listen, I like Conor Benn. I met him, but I'm not going to sit here and play favorites. It's the truth. Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. It's a fight that really is only happening because of money. Because we're talking about just pure boxing. The fight it's a welterweight prospect taking on a 160-pound contender who is towards the end of his career, and it's a fight that really, from a boxing standpoint, I'm not talking about the history with their fathers and stuff like that. I'm talking about just in terms of pure where these guys are at in their careers. It makes no sense. So scrap the fight, give Conor Benn a real penalty, so we can send a message. Because listen, if he's cheated for this fight, there's no telling how long he's been taking PEDs. Because I'm telling you this, he was getting his ass beat by Cedric Penoid and struggling and looked like an average ass fighter, and then all of a sudden, bang, he's knocking out tough veterans like Sammy Vargas out in a round, and Chris Algieri, who's only been stopped by Earl Spence. He's destroying him in like a round or two, whatever it was. It's just odd. The whole situation is just odd. And listen, truth be told, if the fight does happen, I swear to God, I hope Chris Eubank Jr. punches 80 holes through Conor Benn, because it's disgusting what him and Eddie Hearn are doing. I hope Conor Benn, seriously, I'm not trying to wish bad on him, but I really hope he gets a beating that is severe enough for him to hurt Eddie Hearn's pockets. That's all I want. I want him to be healthy. I want Conor Benn to be healthy. I'm not wishing bad on him, but I want him to get beat up enough just to where the British public sees this for what it is, bullshit, and it hurts Eddie Hearn's pockets. That's what I want. I want matchroom boxing to feel this Conor Benn loss from a 60% Chris Eubank Jr. So I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys leave your comments down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.
Thank you for watching True School Sports.
No, follow this kid.
Oh.
You know, he's a true, he's a young, true, passionate person who follows boxing. He wakes up thinking about boxing and he goes to sleep thinking about boxing.
This is true. This is true.
Good kid, good man, and looking forward to seeing him everywhere in the boxing world.
Hey man, if you ain't subscribed to True School Sports, you fucking up, man. Make sure you subscribe, bro.
Fucking up big time.
Make sure, man.